Well, this regime is a shit show. Keone, what were they thinking?
Thinking? You got to stop accusing this administration about thinking.
The amount of energy that it takes to be a racist is insane.
It's too easy, Stacey. The only thing the internet asks you to be most times is don't be homophobic, don't be sexist, don't be racist. How hard is that?
Apparently they can't handle it.
Stacey, you got to pull, because I don't know what the hell Trump is doing. Pull a card, because we haven't done that yet. And it's got to be the Fool. It's going to be the Fool. It has to be the Fool.
Oh my God! Who's the psychic now?
Hello, all. Stacey the Blackfeather Intuitive, and welcome to Dear Democracy. The cards have spoken. And I am with my trusty cohort, Keone, tonight, and he's got quite the show, apparently, for us cooked up. And I'm really grateful because I've been running full steam ahead today and did not have a chance to prepare any kind of questions. I don't even know what's going on today in the public eye. And honestly, Keone, I think I might even be a little better off today, a little less crazy, a little more sane, not knowing all of the details of everything that's going on. But what have you got cooking up for us today?
You said you're going to be less crazy. When has that been a thing?
Well, I mean, ever since all of this political nonsense has happened, I go down the frickin' rabbit hole and I get crazier than I normally am. And I lose my shit, hearing all the things. And I'm like, oh my God, like, make it stop, make it stop. So today, not knowing anything, I haven't done that once today. I'm kind of impressed.
Well, one of the big problems is always taking fact from fiction. People have talking points, they run with their opinions. But just like on the conversation, Harold always says facts over feelings. So you want to look at what's actually happening versus what you're being told that's happening. So
Oh, yeah.
we've got a deal with Iran, but it's not really a deal. It's more like a proclamation, but we'll call it a deal right now. The biggest problem that we have right now with the new Iran deal is with the old one, they had under the one that Barack Obama helped usher, we had 20 countries, allies of Iran and enemies of Iran, sign off on that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's only one country on that deal, and that's the United States of America. And what's the problem with that? Even though we're the greatest nation in the world, is at any point Iran can say bleep you and your deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a deal. And we can go with that. So we could just look at a couple things. We'll get into the factual stuff, and then we'll get into our entertainment side of the show. So just to catch up to speed, Stacey, on the nuclear program limits, under the old deal, which is called the JCPOA, imposed strict limitations on centrifuge types, sites, and capped uranium enrichment at 3.67%. To ensure a breakout time of at least a year, it included unprecedented international inspection regime. So Iran used to never let international teams come in and inspect their nuclear capabilities. It's one thing to have nuclear power. It's another thing to have the ability to have nuclear weapons. The new deal represents an interim framework. I love when it's a framework when it deals with nukes, requiring future negotiations. It discusses diluting existing enrichment stockpiles, but does not mandate the strict monitoring or permanent rollbacks of the 2015 agreement.
It's the concept of a plan, Keone. It's the concept of a plan.
It's the concept of a plan, but the problem is we're the only ones on the plan. And the problem is even though the Ayatollah, the guy that was assassinated, could be considered a piece of crap because he did not stop a lot of human rights violations. The one thing he was against, and this is not me propping up this guy by any means or
Yeah.
celebrating his former life, but um, he said nuclear weapons are against the Quran, and he did not want his own country to have nuclear weapons. That's the only positive sliver you can have when dealing with that guy. So, is it people? My question to you, because Martin Luther King used to say the two most dangerous things in the world are conscientious stupidity and sincere ignorance. And
Mm,
there's a difference in both. Sometimes you're ignorant to something. You know how they say because you're ignorant of the law and you break it doesn't, get you off of
it's just
whatever
a hard lesson to
going
learn.
happen. And
Mhm.
then some people um, know the facts and they choose to not believe the facts because they either like or don't like the person in office, whether it's Trump or Obama or anybody else.
Sure.
Um, what is that? What is that when you know the truth and you refuse to believe it and you regurgitate the known lie? What is that?
Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? That's what that is.
They
You
never sound
have
happy to
you
me.
have a lot of individuals in this country who want to be right, and they will die on their sword. And we've seen it in real time. I'm not. I'm. This is fact. I'm not stating something. I'm not stating a concept of a plan. I'm stating a
Mhm.
fact. There are a lot of people out there who have been proven, like shown the truth, proven that what you're saying is
Mhm.
incorrect. Not
Yeah.
wrong, just it's incorrect. You've been misinformed. And they will turn around and say, "Well, I don't care. I just don't care. This is what I choose to believe. This is what I choose to die on my sword with. This is what I choose to back."
Mhm.
And I think a lot of it is again the cult mentality,
Mm.
the idea that they like somebody who's coming in and calling it like they see it, and then putting everybody in their place, and all the rest of it, and it gives them license to be the shitty humans that they really want to be, that they've been probably behind closed doors for a while. Don't step on the laptop.
Well, there's been a lot of turnaround because I am not. I'm trying to be one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys that believes that everyone wears a red hat is a racist pos. Some people make it hard, but um, some people fall for the bill of goods. You were promised no new wars, but yet you
Yep.
turned the Department of Defense into the Department of War, which kind of says wars are coming. If there's anything that shouts wars are coming, is when you change the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and when you change the Secretary of Defense's title to Secretary of War. That's a key
Yeah.
indicator that wars are coming.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. No, you've got a lot of people who I think it would absolutely crush their psyche
Mhm.
to know that they fell for a con man
Mhm.
who sold them a bill of goods. So instead of allowing it to crush their psyche, they're just going to double down. It's exactly what he does. It's the same narcissistic textbook is what it is, or playbook, however you want to, however you want to put it. And let's face it, a lot of narcissistic individuals, or individuals with narcissistic tendencies, follow this MAGA regime. There's been a lot of talk with the political people and political news that I follow, that there's this understanding that the Republican Party has gone so far to the right that you do have the moderate Republican people. I'm not talking about Republicans in the House and the Senate, but Republican people who are really struggling right now because they're like, okay, I'm not MAGA, but I don't want to vote Democratic because I believe in, the things that Republicans believe in. But now I'm caught between a rock and a hard place because I don't know which way to go. There isn't an alternative option
Mhm.
for me here. And I don't want to be associated with all of these racist asshats and misogynistic asshats, right? So you're really running into the challenge. I think it's the challenge of this time, the challenge of our time. This is going to be the part of history that maybe opens the United States up to a multi-party system, because two parties just, it doesn't work. I think the grand experience, the grand example, the grand what am I trying to say, experiment from that perspective has failed.
I was gonna because hold on,
What am
hold
I
on,
trying to say?
hold on.
Yeah, you got distracted there.
No, I was looking because somebody said something in the chat, and then it,
Oh,
it came in the live chat. It came in and disappeared. There's 30 people watching. So if you guys have a comment or something to say, go ahead and say it. Um, you said sold a bill of goods. I'm like, yeah, he also sold him a Trump Bible. He also sold him a cell phone that they don't have yet. And he also sold
thanks.
NFTs and Trump Snickers. He's made a lot of money on things that we have
Crypto,
not had.
like you name it, he sold it.
Oh, one of the funniest things that are happening right now is Hunter Biden is gathering support from people that are Democrats and Republicans because he's been on X. X, since it went from Twitter to X, went from the top six social media platforms, and now it's ranked like 14th. Um, and he's been on there. He went on and he aired his dirty laundry, talked about his drug habits, his issues, and all of that to people, and people have been um, praising him for that. And the people, of course, have been taking shots, but he is having no fucks given on X to where he's commenting to everybody. Like one guy said, "It was you who left the crack in the White House, you dirty piece of bleep." And the guy's screen name is like MAGA Dave or something. And Hunter's response was, "Sir, I would never leave my crack in the White House." Like,
That shit's too valuable. I would never leave it
yeah.
behind.
And then someone said, "You should run for president and use your sobriety and what you've been through for a slogan." He said, "Let me see. How about let's take another crack at a Biden?" And so like he's being endearing to
Oh
people who
my God,
support him.
that's great.
Yeah, and he's being endearing to people who, you know, don't like him. But I didn't understand. I didn't know the extent of the things he was doing. I'm not a Joe Biden fan, and I just chalked it up to, oh, here's another person with money whose son is doing things he's not supposed to do. But apparently, from Hunter, he was really, really heavily on drugs, and it was effing up his life. So he's
Yeah.
clean and he's championing sobriety for people, and he's very open about it. What's this transformation look like for Hunter? Is it temporary, or is this something that's going to be permanent?
No, I feel very strongly when I tap into his energy that he's done with that life. He's taken the opportunity, all the lessons that he has learned from this experience, and he has turned it into being able to help others with their own troubles. So he's really kind of switched things into a life of service. I'll pull a card for him just to kind of see what, sort of what his future holds. But I don't think he's going to I don't think he's going to run for political office or anything, but I think he's definitely going to get behind particular people who are running for political office. And I do feel that, like, I loved how you said no fucks given, because that's exactly his approach to life. And from what I understand, he's got 7 years of sobriety under his belt. Clean and sober or whatever. And not to say, I mean, anyone who's gone through that journey, who's an addict or, has a problem with alcohol, you can fall off the wagon at any time for any reason. So it's like being ever vigilant, constantly vigilant with those things. But I feel when I tap into his energy, he doesn't struggle with the same issues that he struggled with before. And I feel like he's found some sense of peace and purpose in his life. So let's see what the card is that we got. Oh, interesting. So we got the Eight of Swords. This makes a lot of sense, actually. The Eight of Swords is the card of entrapment, and on the other side of it is liberation. And that's exactly what I feel for him. Is he wrestled with his demons and he won. And he knows now it's not like he killed the demons. He didn't slay the dragons or slay the demons, what he did is he made friends with the demons, and he now has a healthy boundary, a healthy understanding of what they're capable of, and a healthy boundary around them. And as a result of that, he stands in a space of liberation. He's liberated from all of that. Does he live a perfect saint-like life? No. But name one person on this planet that really does. I mean, even the Dalai Lama has had some interesting things come out about him. So people are people. But that's what I get with Hunter is more liberation, more in service, on the path of mastery, helping others to not take life so seriously, to not take their troubles so seriously, but also to be a support system for those that are struggling with what it is that he struggled with as well. I believe he's an artist, and we can talk about like how many artists in history do we know that, drove themselves mad or, had those kinds of mental illness issues, because it's not always easy to be creative in this world that constantly wants you to produce and tries to, slap a label on you and put you in a box. It's really, really challenging. And so, kudos to him. It's not easy getting clean and sober. It's not an easy feat. So hats off to him about that. And I think he's going to be a really powerful supportive voice for at least two individuals who are going to be running for office in the coming 2 to 3 years.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Hey, President Obama opened his presidential library, and every living ex-president except one, but that might not qualify because he's ex and current president, but every ex-living president attended that opening, and hearing him and the former first lady talk, and to hear whether you like President Obama or not, just hearing him talk versus what you hear the current president talk is
Oh
just
my God, it
that's
just
just
brings
that's
me
just
back to like sanity. Like, I want some of that
well, here's
sanity.
the thing that's funny. You've always liked Obama, so it's a little different for you and I. What I like is I was watching a video the other day, and it was President Obama was doing an interview, and people were commenting on, "Oh my God, I miss when the president acted like a president," and blah 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 blah. Yeah, but here's the thing: you're smiling because that's things that you and I say. But we have these hunters on social media that go and find out who people are and find their old post, and all these people saying, "I miss this guy," and "What a great president." They would post their comments from when he was president, calling him a POS, a traitor. He's the
Oh,
worst thing
that's
ever.
so
And it's
funny.
like, you know what it makes me think? It's that song. You don't know what you got till it's
Got till
gone.
it's gone. Yep. I was
It's
just
when you
thinking
think
that.
your life is so bad, and then realize it can be worse. And then, and what can happen with people, no matter who's president, whether it's Bill Clinton, Obama, Biden, Trump. Sometimes how you're personally doing in your life in that time, you link that to who's in office at that time. You're getting
Mm,
fired from your job, you're unemployed, you're finding it hard to get work, you're scraping by, and this person's in office. You're like, the economy sucks, this guy sucks. But when
right.
you're doing great and you're living great, and you live in your echo chamber where you don't see the problems that everybody else are, if you are doing great and your friends are doing great and all that, you're like, oh my God, what a great time. You know.
Yeah.
But now we're at a time where it doesn't matter if you have money or no money. You're like these damn gas prices.
Oh my God, these damn gas prices and all of the nonsense that goes down.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to say in Canada. I live in
Oh
I lived
God, you reminded me.
in
I always forget.
Ontario, the province of Ontario, and our big joke was don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes because it'll change. No matter
Right.
what time of the day or the year or the whatever it is, whatever season it is, the weather's going to change. And I feel like that's exactly what it is with the political climate is, something's going to happen and you're going to think it's the big thing and oh my God. And then 5 minutes later, you're going to get bombarded with some other new, crazy ass thing that you couldn't have even imagined, would have ever happened a year ago, but here we are. And I mean, it just goes on and on and on like that. So
I
yeah, you
always
don't know what you
forget.
got till it's gone.
I always forget you're from Canada, and you always remind me. Canada, oh Canada, oh Canada. Are you guys ever gonna win
Oh,
a hockey?
Canada.
Are you guys ever gonna win another Stanley Cup? Like ever?
Oh, yes, we've got plenty of Stanley Cups in
Yeah,
us.
you've got
We're
plenty, but
just sharing. We are kind and generous, and we like to spread the love and the joy around. So we don't need to be the winners, the top of the pile all the time, because we have worth within ourselves. We like to share the love.
one of the things when I brought up the about the reason why we brought up the presidential library being open was, of course, it came on all the news outlets, talking points, and there's this narrative that people will spew on certain networks, and it keeps saying Barack Obama is the most divisive president in the United States. And I always say when people say that, is he the most divisive president of the United States, or did he just show you how divisive the United States was
No,
before he became president?
yes, he showed the most divisive, but he was only the most divisive at that time because it was the first time that a black man stepped into power, stepped into office. And, a lot of people never thought that they would ever see that. But I don't think he's the most divisive. I think the asshat that we have in the fucking White House now, I mean, his whole first term was divisiveness, and he's just doubled down on that, tripled down on that at this point.
As the years have gone by, his presidency is being looked at more and more fondly.
Sure.
And this guy has helped it. Even people who didn't like Obama are starting to like
Now like
Obama.
him, yes, or at least can
It's
see the value
yeah.
in what he brought to the table, whether they liked his policies or not. Absolutely.
Well, there's a thing where you can dislike someone for their presidential policies and not dislike them as a person. For instance, George J.W. George Bush, the son, not the father. I wasn't a fan of most policies, but I never disliked him as a person.
Mm,
You know, and people who have tried to dislike Obama and then they've met Obama, McCain, Romney, Bush, they meet him and then they find it hard to dislike the person
right.
because you have to manufacture hate. And if you like, if I had to manufacture hate against you, Stacey, and then we meet, then I'm like, oh my God, I really don't hate her. It's just silly. And that's what happens to a lot of people. I find it funny that the Celebration of America, which was a nonpartisan event, it was supposed to be and billed to a bunch of celebrities and stars. And when they all realized it was more of a Trump birthday party, they all backed out. More celebrities and stars came to the Barack Obama library opening than the celebration of our nation, which is a problem. Even
And
from even
more
from
A-list or people who've been A-listers for a long period of time in their career. I mean, it just speaks volumes to the legacy that Obama left this country. And I thought their speeches were incredible. I mean, Michelle Obama's speech just brought me to tears. I had to really rein it in. I mean, it was
she
just
gets it
beautiful.
sometimes worse than him. These damn fools, like you saw the UFC fighter who now lost all his sponsorships almost
Thank
because he
God that
won
there
the
are people
fight
who are fighting back from this bullshit and
and
tyranny. I
said
love
he's
it.
it's amazing that the people who complain about transgenders the most, you want to label someone transgender. Speaking of transgender, segue. I don't know if you saw the video. The video is too long. We talked about it on the conversation before I came on here. There was a dad washing his two daughters' hands in the women's bathroom. Did you see that video?
No, but you and I were just talking about that on, was it Pop Culture on Monday?
Yeah. Well, I didn't. Did I show you the video?
No, you didn't show me the video, but the topic came up and we were talking about how, like the whole scandal. And you were like, okay, I'm bringing my nieces in and I'm going to the bathroom.
This is where we let people peek behind the curtain to our anarchy. Yeah, Stacey, you weren't supposed to say that.
Well, then you got to tell me.
Well, no, you gotta jump on the boat. Yeah, well, Keone, tell me about it.
Dude,
You're the psychic.
You've known me for so long, but you also know I'm authentic. So
Use your
I'm gullible, and
listen,
you can say
listen.
all sorts of shit to me, and I'm gonna believe it until I clue in.
Use your powers when you're not in session, for crying out loud. There's a reason you have the powers. If I had the powers, I'd be totally irresponsible. I would turn into a supervillain. Okay? So it's given to certain people for a reason because you use it for good. Okay? I would use it to know when the bank routes are coming so I can get some money.
So you could get some more money.
Oh my God. It's almost like when you're doing a live and you show a video and one of the people yell, I can't hear the video. Yes, the audience can hear you say that. Shut up. I was trying
Well,
to.
you're getting the real Stacey and Keone show then.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God. I'm trying to
go
leave
for it.
you or
Share the
something.
video. Share the video.
I don't have the video. That's why I was trying to paint the picture and lead it up to the thing because I don't. The video's too long.
Oh my
For those of
God.
you who don't know, a father was washing both his daughter's hands, and if you guys have a comment on this, if you can put it in the live chat or just comment after, it's fine. Father was washing both his little girl's hands in the bathroom, and he made sure the bathroom was empty before he went in. And even a female worker who was an older lady was there, and he's washing their hand, and there's a guy on a cell phone calling 911 saying there's a guy in the female's bathroom with his two little daughters. He's not supposed to be in there. He's gross and blah 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 blah. And even the worker had to tell the man, I'm sorry. And even his two little girls looked horrified, and one of them started to cry.
Well, of
Now,
course, because it's embarrassing. Like,
I don't
they
have
don't
kids.
understand what's going on.
I don't have kids, and but I have 9 nieces and nephews. And when I used to take my nieces out, if they needed to go to the bathroom, I'm not taking them into the swinging Richards bathroom. I'd
Right.
always say, is anybody? And actually, I'd always make sure the bathroom was empty. And when I've gone in there, when I was washing their hands, if a woman came in there, they never had an issue
No, of
because they
course,
saw
because
what
it's
I was
like
doing.
they know you're not in there to be a pervy perv. You're in there because you're taking care of some kids, and you're smart to not take those little girls into the man's bathroom.
Well, I would if I had to, if the women's bathroom, I would, but I don't want the chance of them. I'd rather them see an accidental female part than a male part at the age that they
Yes,
were, you know.
absolutely. And women, when we go into the bathroom, we go
Mhm.
into the stall and we do whatever we need
Yeah.
to do in the stall. We don't do it outside the stall. You
Well,
guys,
I
it's
don't
a
know.
different
I worked
situation.
at a I've worked at a grocery store. I had to clean the women's bathroom. It ain't as rosy as you guys like to paint it in there. Yeah, actually, the women's bathroom was 10 times worse to clean up than
Some women are piggish.
the
Yep, some
male
women are
bathroom.
piggish.
I just had to worry about splattering some hair somewhere. I remember I was 18. I gotta tell this story. I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with democracy, but I worked at Publix when I was 18. And when I would work nights, they already had people that would, certain employees would clean the bathroom. Well, that employee wasn't there. So they said, Hey, Stevens, you clean the bathroom? I said, okay, but I'm going to clean the women's bathroom because my brain thought the women's bathroom is going to be immaculate. You know,
Ah,
I've
especially
cleaned
not
the
it's
men's
a
bathroom before.
public bathroom.
I went in that bathroom and there's no reason an 18-year-old should see the things that I saw.
Oh
I walked
God.
in and I was like, why is it stuck to the wall? What is this? Why is this here? What is this? And I told my manager, I'm never cleaning that bathroom again. I'm not cleaning it. And he's like, you got to clean it. You said you're going to. And me and him got into a knockdown, drag down argument because I did not want to clean the bathroom.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's why I
That's
don't
how
use public
bad it
restrooms
was.
on pain of death. I will go in if I have to, and I'll squat.
Well, my secret is I go to like if I'm going on a road trip, I always stop at the super expensive hotels and use their lobby bathroom.
Yeah, that's smart because you know it's always
Yeah,
clean because they have
yeah.
people 24/7 monitoring it. Yeah.
Yeah, they keep them clean. So I always do that. So that's the amazing thing about that.
So what does that have to do with democracy, dude?
It doesn't. I said that in the lead up to when I had to do that. But since the psychic lady didn't know where I was going, I got left on a limb. You already won't give me the goddamn Powerball numbers, and now you want to be on my ass.